Hey everyone, Felix from Nintendo Life here. And today is 3 years since Animal Crossing New Horizons released, and I thought it would be a fun idea to pull in Alex and Sion and then chat about like that time when Animal Crossing New Horizons took over the world. And I already spoiled it, but we have Sion.
Ah, it's me. I've just been teleported to Felix's island.
And Alex.
Oh, it's me. Hello.
Do you guys remember, like, when you think of the first month of Animal Crossing New Horizons, what pops into your head?
Oh my word. I mean, I have you got a week? Because frankly, I've got so much to talk about. Xion, you go first because I need to compile things in my brain.
Sure. Well, I mean, the crazy thing with Animal Crossing is Animal Crossing hit like two different demographics of people almost. Like these long-time diehard fans that have been waiting for a new game in the series since New Leaf. And, you know, we got the New Leaf Welcome Amiibo update, but otherwise we got, in between her New Horizons and New Leaf, we got a board game, mini game compilation with plastic toys, and we got a lobby that you could go hang out with animals in on the Wii U. Like, there really wasn't a whole lot to tide us over. So, you know, I think this new game was like creating so many promises and building on a lot of the foundations that New Leaf had set in place. And like these, if you compare New Horizons to the GameCube version, like it's just a night and day experience. And I definitely fell into that camp because I was the kid that was playing Animal Crossing when I didn't like have any other friends in like middle school besides my buddy Zach. And so you know, I think, like, for me, like, I was incredibly hyped for it and excited, and I got it day one. But then there were all these people that, like I said, kind of fell into it that didn't know what Animal Crossing was because it launched during this time. Yeah, when everybody was stuck at home. And it was just, it's such a crazy thing that, like, Animal Crossing really kind of took over the world. But
it really did. It's like, I remember when I got the game, I had not played any Animal Crossing games before, but this one, I was like surprisingly hyped for this game, even though I hadn't played any of the games before. It was just the thing that you could decorate your whole island, and the furniture looks so good, and just the whole island life that you start with nothing and then you just build from there. And the game came out around a week before my birthday. I remember my girlfriend got a lot of my friends together and they all pitched in to get me a birthday present. But they were very nice to give me the birthday present a week before so I could play it at launch, which was really nice because I could have not waited an entire week and just see the entire internet talking about New Horizons, and I couldn't. And I remember there was this really long direct that showcased so much stuff of the game. I don't know if it was like 30 minutes or something. It was really long, and I just watched it so many times because I was just so hyped for the game. I remember I got a friend, like, we hanged out a day and I thought, hey, do you want to watch the Animal Crossing Direct, like some kind of movie or something?
What a thing.
Yeah. But the game came out and I just played it non-stop for a month because I was in school at this time during lockdown, and like lockdown had just happened like a couple of weeks before it happened in March here in Denmark, I think. So I just stayed inside and played Animal Crossing. I just stayed at Alma's house because otherwise we wouldn't be able to like see each other. So we just stayed together the entire time, and she also got Animal Crossing. So we just both played, and it was one of the first games that we both played together, like extensively. So that was just, the game means a lot to me. I have much more to say, but I would also love to hear what Alex has.
Okay, strap yourselves in, guys, because I have quite the story to tell. So around the time that Animal Crossing came out, well, in fact, around about a month beforehand, I was getting my kitchen renovated. And, you know, we'd not long moved into the house. The kitchen, when we arrived, really old-fashioned. It was this sort of narrow corridor type thing. We wanted to kind of like knock it through and have like a big open space within reason, but with like a breakfast bar. We wanted a massive change. As a result, that basically meant we had to basically rip out the entire room from top to bottom, including the flooring and the ceiling eventually, as well as a wall, and also putting up a new wall. And suffice it to say, when you also have to take everything out and store it under dust sheets, considering we have open plan living, so it's not like we could close the door to our living room. We basically didn't have a living room. We didn't have a kitchen for about, I think it was 8 weeks, 10 weeks, something like that. And frankly, I mean, don't get me wrong, it was absolutely worth it. It's an amazing kitchen now, though I say so myself. But it was absolute hell. I don't mind telling you. It was absolute hell. And I had a really difficult time working as well. Because obviously I'm only upstairs, like I'm directly above the kitchen. So there's all this banging, crashing, sort of if there are any questions, they came up to me and they asked me and I was happy to reply, but it's still very, very, very stressful time. And right towards, I would say, halfway through the renovations, Animal Crossing, it didn't come out, but I got Animal Crossing because I was reviewing it. So I got it early. And frankly, it saved my sanity. So I was playing the game early, and I had this escape on my Switch, this way to just get away from the entirety of the downstairs, because my house was covered in dust. I've got some pictures, which I'll send you for the video, but it was really, the entire of the downstairs was turned upside down for about 10 weeks. And I couldn't even escape it during the day when I was upstairs. I didn't leave the house, but I had in my hand this little escape. I could go to this tiny little island and just chill out. And I cannot tell you how welcome that was. And it was work. So I was, I felt like I was doing something productive again. Then the game came out and we were still, it's still being renovated at the time, but more sort of towards the tail end. And honestly, we got it done by the skin of our teeth before lockdown. But, for those last few bits as well, Sasha was playing it as well. I bought her a copy so we could play together. And it was just bliss to be able to, sit upstairs. Like, we didn't even have space to eat. We didn't have a table. Honestly, looking back on it now, and I've been looking through the pictures, it was even more stressful than I remember. But Animal Crossing, it got me through it. It got me through it. This little just sort of nugget of freedom and calm and serenity. Honestly, I can't thank it enough.
I think it's just so nice that the game came out at the time that it came out. Not only did it save you, but so many people were having a tough time because they had to stay inside. It's it's some very specific circumstances that made this game like this phenomenon. Like, it came out exactly when COVID started to become a big thing. You can't go outside, and suddenly there's this magical game that you can lose hours into, being Animal Crossing New Horizons.
I mean, you're absolutely right. Like as an adult, I feel like I'm always complaining about time, about not having enough time to play the games that I want or to get enough things done. And during that time in 2020 and even further on, past that, we suddenly had all of this extra time to stay inside. And I think, lots of people found different ways to utilize that and keep themselves busy. But yeah, like Animal Crossing definitely was a spark in my life during that time too. I was playing a lot with my partner, and I think one of the big things that really that I enjoyed the most about the game obviously was the connections of being able to go to your friends' islands and see what they have and trade items with them and send them letters and have them come play hide and seek with you on your island, or talk about what villagers each other have, there's or what items are for sale in each other's stores, and finding out what rare items are. There's so much that you can do with your friends in these games. But I really loved the mystery around Animal Crossing at the time, because you
loved it so much you made a video about it.
That's true. I talked about Animal Crossing myths, and the video, people really liked it. It was really nice. And so around that time, I was working on a lot of guides for Nintendo Life, and doing a lot of videos and guides and things like that, like trying to find out how long it would take to catch certain fish in certain areas, and figuring out how often balloons spawn and what's in each color balloon. And because at that time it felt like everybody on the internet was really banding together to figure this stuff out, because Animal Crossing just has so many secrets and so many unknown things hidden within these games that it made it so much more fun and rewarding to really chat with your friends, instead of just going, like if you play Animal Crossing now and you talk to somebody that's played it, I feel like there's a good chance that they know so much about the game, and you can kind of almost use somebody else as a resource. But back then, we were all just kind of as clueless as the next person, and it really was a special time to play that game. I don't play it as much now as I did back then because like it's the time thing. It's the time thing I was talking about earlier. But it made time better back then. It was good. It was good in a way. It was a bad time, but Animal Crossing made it okay.
Yeah.
I also think it was the first game in a very long time that captured that kind of playground, sort of rumor, as you were saying, sort of, I've heard in Animal Crossing you can do this and you can do that. And it was such a sort of a vast and open-ended game that kind of, those ideas perpetuated. And, you did get these myths, as you did an entire video about it. And I can't remember any of the myths off the top of my head, but
there was one where there was a rumor that if you play the ocarina or the flute like next to the water when you see a fish, that it'll be a rarer fish if you play it a tune, and that didn't work. But go on, I needed to get that out because that's the kind of myths that were going around.
Yeah, that's just so perfect because it's the sort of thing where, it's so ill-defined, and it's the sort of thing where you play it and you sort of think, oh well, and then you fish and it's not a rail, and it's like, well, maybe I didn't play it enough, or maybe I wasn't close enough. And there are all these factors, this kind of superstition that is it's sort of embedded in human sort of psychology. But then you'll get the occasional instance where you just do it and it will be a rare fish and you're like, it works. It's,
Totally. And then by the way, I heard my friend Alex, actually, he did that trick and he caught a mahi-mahi. Like, I saw it happen. I was there.
You can catch a shark in the river if you play it for long enough. Yes.
Okay.
And you just get that sort of ludicrous thing that I think in most other games, well, for one thing, you wouldn't see it because of the nature of the game. But also, if it hadn't have happened around lockdown, I think people wouldn't have cared as much. But because people were so obsessed, it was this...
We didn't have anything else to do.
Yeah, exactly. There's nothing else to do, so maybe it's worth seeing whether playing an ocarina is going to increase your chances. It's nonsense looking back on it, but at the time, it was kind of magical.
Yeah. The first month or two, I just felt that there was so much to do in the game. Like, the first week you spend you getting the museum done, and there's all this sort of stuff, and then you finally get access to paths and fences. I just, like, playing it without time traveling was also just a really fantastic experience, because the first, long time, there is something new to do every day, and I just felt that I was never getting tired of it. I mean, after some time, after a month or two, I did. But yeah, it just felt very magical. And
there are sometimes games that it's really easy to just say, like, I'm just gonna play another 20 minutes or half an hour, or just it's almost 10 o'clock. Maybe I'll play another till 10:30 or something. Did you feel that? Was it really easy for time to slip away when you were playing this game too?
Let me tell you, today I had to capture footage for this video, and I thought, I'll just do 10 minutes of me running around, and suddenly an hour and 30 minutes has passed by of me just doing stuff. And it was much worse during the first month, and time just slipped away. It was the first thing I did every morning. Me and Alma both we wake up and check our islands and see everything we can now do. It was so exciting.
I did the same
exactly.
thing.
It was so exciting waking up the next day because, I did all this yesterday. Now I can do all of this. And it was,
You just sparked a memory in my head of waking up next to Sasha, and we both sort of wake up and I go, morning baby, and we just reach over and grab our Switch.
Yeah.
We wouldn't even bother to get out of bed. We'd keep them by our beds specifically so we didn't have to bother getting up.
Yeah.
And that was before we had cats. Because there was a part of me thinking just now, didn't I get up and feed the cats? We didn't have cats at the time.
And it's so good too that so many people, I'm really glad that Animal Crossing wasn't a launch title, or that the Switch wasn't launching during didn't launch in 2020 or something either, because it felt like Switches were selling out during this time, and were, because people were stuck inside, and because Animal Crossing was becoming such a craze and everything. But, all these people just already had Switches laying around, or they were playing them every day with other games. But it was great because it just, this new piece of software came out that gave everybody kind of like a new lease on life in a way. And it's so good too that, the Switch is the kind of system that allows you to play it in bed, or play it on the TV, or play it in the car, or anything like that. Like, we've had portable Animal Crossing games before with the 3DS and the DS, but there's something about being able to like see your house and see your friends and stuff on the big screen and on the go as well. Is just I think that really helped too.
And also because there was a lot of stuff that were added with updates, so there was a lot of stuff like that feeling of, oh, what are they gonna add next? Like, where I remember when there was like the whole egg festival. I was just
Bunny Day.
Oh,
yay,
my god,
everybody.
Bunny Day. It was fun, but all the eggs. There was so many eggs.
That's not even the theme, but that's what I'm reminded of. It's Zipper.
You just couldn't get any fossils because it was always eggs, and the balloons were eggs. And there was so many balloons.
Yeah, everything is eggs. You're an egg.
You're an egg.
I heard a rumor that if you collect 30 of each color egg and you put them in your pockets, you'll turn into an egg, but only for a second, so you can't look away.
And it disables the recording function on your Switch for that brief period, doesn't it? It's really weird.
I heard it also wipes your memory. Only one person managed to get away safely. So. And
Rossetti
resets your memory.
Oh no.
I'm really glad you brought up Bunny Day though, because that's not really like a thing that, it still happens every year. All of these holidays that happen in Animal Crossing are still...
Everyone was talking about it when it happened, I remember. Like on Twitter, it was really...
It felt like it was going to be kind of like a meme forever, and now it's sort of died down. So I'm glad that, that you had this idea to like have this conversation, Felix, because it is kind of... It really was like a like Alex was saying too, it was a magical and special moment in time that, like, even though Bunny Day was hell in a sense, it's
fun to remember back.
Yeah, because we were all there for it,
Exactly.
A lot of us were. So.
Yeah.
But eventually we got better holidays, like the present day, and Jingle came back around, and I don't even remember if I participated in that much.
The thing is, I fell off like after 2 months. I've played it in periods, like then when the final update came out, I started playing it again, and that's the island that I have now that you're seeing in most of the footage, because I reset my island after some time, because I wanted to relive those like the first month again, and I came close. It felt very nice, like it was very nostalgic, even a year or two after just resetting the island and then just doing everything again. And you probably shouldn't reset your island, but I wasn't happy with mine, and I'm much happier with the one I have now because I actually spend a lot of time on it. And Animal Crossing is the game I have most hours in on my Switch. So
oh wow,
I still play it to this day. Like sometimes I just check in, see what's happening.
I think me too, by the way. I think so, which is just another testament to like how easy it is to just make time slip away in these games.
But also like the whole it's in real time. For some reason I've never played Animal Crossing New Horizons during summer, so I don't have any of the summer like sharks or anything. I didn't play it like after 2 months. I think I stopped playing, and then I started always during autumn, when things like start to get really dark and I just wanted to stay inside. Oh, I'll play some Animal Crossing. But in summer, I'm out and about and doing stuff. And
that's interesting, because I haven't actually played it in winter, apart from like maybe a day.
I played it a lot in winter. Like this winter, I played a lot of Animal Crossing, and that was because one of my friends bought my old Switch so he could play Animal Crossing. And so I just wanted to also play, so each day we could like talk about it and stuff. And it kind of like recreated a bit how it was like at the start, just to see another person slowly progress through their island. And it was really nostalgic, even though it's only 3 years. But also, it's crazy that it's already 3 years since it happened. Man, time. Speaking of time, we've been talking for quite a bit, so I think we should wrap this up. But first, I think we should do a little thing where we either tell a little piece of trivia of the game or a little story that we remember fondly. And I think you should go first, Sion.
Oh, me? Okay. So I really want to tell you guys about a toilet thing, but instead, I'm going to save. I wrote down this thing that I wanted to talk about earlier, but I just forgot about it. I bring it up time and time again, and I'm so sorry. I used to work at GameStop, blah, blah, blah. And I've always shopped there just for years. I've always done pre-orders and everything. And GameStop is always like really, really hard firm on never releasing a game early. But Animal Crossing was an interesting situation where it was when COVID was really, hitting us hard, was that, and kind of throwing everything off, was GameStop was scrambling to figure out how to do like a midnight event for Animal Crossing. And I ended up getting a call from our store at the time, which I was like, I didn't work at it or anything. I was at Nintendo Life, but I was still really good friends with, like, some of my best friends work there. And they were like, hey, or actually I heard a rumor online, maybe it was from like a different store. I don't know. But regardless, GameStop actually released the game early, like at like 5 p.m. or something like that, the day before. And they were allowing people to come slowly into the store in batches and pick up the game. Because they didn't want like a mass amount of people to show up at their stores at midnight and then potentially like cause the outbreak to get worse or anything like that. So it just, it's just a little moment in time that like that will probably never happen again, hopefully. But also, it just was it was a weird thing that, all the years that I worked there and like have been in this space, it was very unprecedented. And I'm glad GameStop pivoted in that regard and allowed all these people to get their game that they had pre-ordered and everything in a respectful way. But yeah, it's just such a weird thing that I think we'll never see happen again.
Was it allowed to give out the game early?
So I think GameStop must have like approved it with Nintendo or something like that.
Yeah.
Because it's not like it didn't. I don't think it released digitally like earlier on the eShop. I don't, there would have been no benefit to that. But yeah, someone at corporate must have gotten approval because eventually like a widespread email got spread out between GameStop's corporate, like internally between the stores, and they got approval to do it. But
nice.
Yeah, I think now thinking back on it more, I think I read a rumor online that GameStops were releasing it early. I called my store and they were like, nope, we're not doing that as of right now. Not that we've heard. And then like an hour later, they called and they were like, actually, turns out we are. And it was really cool. And like, I remember going there and picking it up with my partner and we both got our copies and played it together. I have some pictures actually that I'll send you from that.
Oh, nice.
I'll jot that down to remember that. But yeah, it was just a crazy time.
Yeah, I remember I had to wait till midnight. But of course I was ahead of you, so maybe we got it at the same time. Because of time differences, I have no idea.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
But yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah, maybe we did.
I do remember staying up like for midnight and playing the game until like 3 a.m. and it was just
sure.
It was really cool, like getting so much done the first day. But what about you, Alex? Do you have any cool trivia or cool history lessons? That's not the story time. That's the way.
I mean, I'll take a lesson too.
The only thing that's even remotely interesting that I can think of is when I received the download code from Nintendo for review. I wasn't actually at home, so I sort of took myself to one side and very sort of secretly started downloading it on my Switch because I was at my mother-in-law to be's house at the time, and I was just there going, I want to play it, so I couldn't wait to even go home, which I was going to be doing the next morning. I was like, I'm going to download it. And I for some reason, that's just, in my brain. And I think I played it for about 10 minutes before going, I should really, stop being antisocial. Little did I know I'd be antisocial for the best part of a year afterwards. But not as extensive or interesting as Xeon's story, but it's a story.
I like this though. I'm creating a movie of this in my head right now, and I'm like picturing you going like, ooh, like that. You do this like squee of excitement sometimes, and like it finishes downloading, and you like. Dinner's happening and you're like, oh, sorry, I have to go to the bathroom or something, and like or someone at the table's like, I wonder where Alex, like, has anyone seen Alex? Like, where did he go? And like, I don't know, someone goes up to the bathroom door and like knocks or something and there's no answer, but you just hear like, ba 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 ba, chook, chook, chook. And like, do 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 do, like the.
After it came out, we actually showed it to Sasha, my partner's mum, and because she, not so much anymore, but for a while had the sort of idea that all video games are violent. And this basically shattered that worldview in one fell swoop.
Good.
So I'll cap off. Well, it's to do with the game. You sang the tune, and that actually got me to think of this story. So the tune was, of course, released before the game. And at the time, I was making acapellas on my own YouTube channel. And there was this YouTube channel called The Real Solly G, who makes automaton covers. Automaton is this really weird instrument that
oh,
you
it's
like.
the thing that's like a little, like, it kind of looks like a cartoon, like, smiley face almost or something,
exactly,
right? Like,
and this YouTube channel, this guy, he's like the automaton king. He had like a tons of subscribers, and I'd watched him for so many years, and I just reached out to him and said, hey, do you want to do a cover on the Animal Crossing New Horizons theme? I'll do everything, you just have to do the main melody. And he said, yeah, sure. And I was so surprised, because I don't remember having that many subscribers at the time. And I just think that was like one of my big breaks, like coming out to a big creator and they wanted to collab. And I'm just saying that without that, maybe I wouldn't have been here today. So it was just such a cool experience. And I'll show it here on screen because I think it turned out really great, that cover. But I was just scrambling to find a little piece of history, but I felt like that was the best I could do. Cause,
dude, that's
very
awesome.
Special.
Like,
It's almost as if we spent the rest of the video talking about our experiences.
I mean, that's the really cool thing with Animal Crossing too, is I think you can have a lot of fun just playing by yourself. Like, there's nothing to say that, Animal Crossing has to be a multiplayer game. But when you even just, when you share the experiences of, like the villagers that you become friends with on your island, because, there's 300, 400 villagers and you only get 10 maximum, you bond with those characters and you talk with people and you share those secrets. It's just such a social game. Even if you don't connect inside the game, you still can connect and make those memories. And that's cool. It's so neat that Animal Crossing is in the place that it is today. And I hope Nintendo is smart enough to not let it fall by the wayside and just keep it in our eyes forever, please.
Please. And thank you, Alex and Cian, for joining me to this chat. It was really nice to talk about and hear your stories about, Animal Crossing when it first came out. And it seems we all have very fond memories of those first months. And I can only hope that another game can capture our heart like that. Of course, the circumstances was very specific and not very nice. But yeah, just have a game that everyone is talking about like that. I hope that will happen one day. We'll see.
Yeah, man.
Stay safe, play some Animal Crossing New Horizons. Felix from Nintendo Life, out.
Oh, we forgot to mention the fact that there was a black market for Raymond.